In this installment, we'll explore what the statement "it is done," found in Revelation 16, means and note the particular application to us in these last days.
And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done."
Daniel 7 verses 9, 10 and 13, reading from the New King James Version of the Bible. I watched till thrones were put in place, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was a fiery flame, its wheels a burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. 1,000 thousands ministered to him, 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated, and the books were opened. I was watching in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
Revelation 16, the Father issues the command for the 7 angels to pour the 7 last plagues on the earth. The wicked will be punished. The first plague is poured on all that have the mark of the beast, on those who have the mark in their foreheads, an intellectual belief in Babylon's doctrine, and in the hand, those who obey Babylon's doctrine because of convenience, the need to keep a job, house, business dealings and the like. For this cause, Revelation 14, the Lord sends the 3 angels messages. The first calls for a return to worship God completely, giving proper credence to his holy law. The second calls for a separation from Babylon, and her daughters, those churches that uphold Babylon's doctrine. And the third forbids receiving Babylon's mark, its symbol of authority, the practice that honors it. Revelation 16, the first plague is poured on all who disobeyed the warnings of the 3 angels. After issuing a plague on the religion of Euphrates, Islam, Christ admonishes us to be on our guard because he will return as a thief. When we least expect it, only the faithful and obedient are saved. Verse 16, the battle of Armageddon is entrenched. This is a spiritual battle, I say a spiritual battle, between God and those who are determined to break his holy law. Verse 17, when the Father commands the 7th angel to pour out the last plague, he states emphatically, "It is done." Daniel 7, in the first year of Belshazzar's reign, 541 BC, God gave Daniel a vision of 4 beasts. The 4th beast disturbs him. The beast has 10 horns on its head, and a little horn arose and uproots 3 of the previous horns. This little horn has a mouth that blasphemes. Verse 9, the scene shifts heavenward. Daniel sees thrones set or put in place. After the thrones are set in place, Daniel sees the Ancient of Days, the Father, in his awesome majesty. The Father takes the throne of judgment, and multiplied millions of heavenly beings wait to do his bidding. The subject of the judgment is hereby introduced as the books of heaven are opened. Verses 11 and 12, the 4th beast, Babylon, is destroyed, but the other beasts are left in place and stripped of their authority. Hebrews 9 verse 11, but Christ being come an high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building. Daniel 7 verse 13, Daniel sees the Son of Man, coming with the clouds of heaven, and they, clouds being angels, provide kingly escort for Christ, to the sanctuary, to the very presence of the Father. John 5 verse 22, For the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son. The books are opened, and, Daniel 7 verse 13, angels have escorted Christ to the heavenly sanctuary so that he cleanse the same in the presence of the Father. Recall, Daniel 8 verse 14, 2300 days from the issuance of Cyrus's decree to rebuild Jerusalem, the sanctuary will be cleansed. The cleansing of the sanctuary is the removal of confessed sins from the books in heaven and the placing of said sins on the shoulders of the devil and his angels, where they rightfully belong. But before these confessed sins are placed on the backs of demons, an investigative process is conducted, an investigative judgment. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 10, For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that every one may receive the things done in his body, according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad. Every man's destiny is to be determined by the deeds done in the body, and each one is to be rewarded according to his works. Obedience to God's law is paramount. Revelation 22 verse 12, And, Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. Revelation 20 verse 12, And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. In the books of remembrance in heaven, maintained by angelic scribes, in the closing sanctuary work, these records are examined, and in the presence of the Father and his holy angels, Christ makes a decision in accordance to faithfulness to God's law. As we have seen in previous videos, since 1844, the end of the 2300-day prophecy, Christ has been engaged in the cleansing of the sanctuary, the investigative judgment. The books of remembrance are maintained for the saints' purview during their 1,000-year stay in heaven, as depicted in Revelation 20 verse 4 and 1 Corinthians 6 verse 2. The sequences of the cases tried in the investigative judgment, and the length thereof is known by the Godhead alone, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We have no idea when our record is examined, and when in Revelation 16 verse 17, the Father declares it is done. A priori, Christ pled his blood on behalf of the repenting sinners. But in heaven, when the Father proclaims it is done, the cleansing of the sanctuary, the investigative judgment is finished and probation is closed. Mercy no longer pleads. Revelation 22 verse 11, He that is unjust, let him be unjust still, and he which is filthy, let him be filthy still, and he that is righteous, let him be righteous still, and he that is holy, let him be holy still. All the righteous are saved for everlasting life, all the wicked are doomed to everlasting death. No decision can be changed, no reward can be lost, and no destiny of despair can be averted, beyond that point. The righteous, being accustomed to obeying God's law, will continue doing so, not knowing if the judgment is complete or not. Luke 21 verse 36, Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. A life of love for God, compliance to his law, obedience to his precepts will enable the faithful to stand before Christ in the judgment. Jesus preserves the names of the righteous in the book of life. When Christ returns, his reward is with him, and the just shall live by his faith.